morning, day 4 of the hunt. We're on a new spot this morning that we looked at yesterday afternoon. It's kind of a skinny strip of woods on the side of a ridge. We've got a food plot up on top of the ridge. So we've got a ridge point down here in front of us and another ridge point behind us, and this is kind of the connecting strip of woods between the two. And all this has been logged out. There's just treetops and it's real nasty thick. But we walked in here yesterday and there was quite a few rubs in here, so there's definitely deer traveling through here. This is just a really big ridge system, and where we're sitting at, there's a real long deep holler behind us that runs up to here, and then on the other side it's the same way. So basically the top of this ridge right here is more or less a saddle. So there's, a lot of converging things right here, so we figured we'd just give it a shot this morning and see what happens. We haven't had much luck anywhere else, so we're just going to start hopping around and trying different things just to see if we can't run into one. But some of the other guys have had encounters with bucks. We've had a few encounters with bucks, so it's we've been seeing some deer, but it's still been pretty slow. I think a lot of the bucks are on lockdown right now, so hopefully they'll bust loose from their does and start cruising a little bit, but we'll see what happens this morning. Well, this morning was extremely slow. We saw a doe right after daylight and then a little spike probably an hour after that. We haven't seen anything since then, so we're going to run and get Casey's Pizza because that sounds like an awesome idea. That's all. That's all. Alright, so we're set up for the evening hunt. This is a pretty goofy spot right here. We are literally right beside the road. I'll have Dylan show you after the interview, but the road is right there. Look at this little food plot. So, Greg yesterday claims that he saw a nice buck in the corner of this plot. He was out like an hour before dark just riding around. That's what he claims. He may have been trying to divert me from his spot. But either way, it worked because we're here now. But really, it's actually a pretty good setup because you got all these ridge points that dump down into this bottom right here, and you got this little food plot. And when we hunted here last year, we constantly saw deer down by the road and in these little plots right here. So I don't really think it's a dumb spot at all. Everybody's just been riding past it, going way back in. So we figured we'd give it a shot. The setup is really goofy. I had to climb this tree and then set Dylan's platform on the opposite tree right beside me. So we're in 2 different trees. But we had these couple cedar trees right in front of us that we were just trying to get just high enough to get above them. So now I've got a really nice open shot to the end of this food plot. So we'll see what happens. We haven't been seeing deer anywhere else, so I figure we might as well try something kind of dumb. It just might pay off. he smelled us or heard us moving or whatever, but he ducked and turned when the arrow hit, so I don't know how it hit him. We'll just have to watch the footage back and see. But I definitely hit him. I just don't know how good it was. Oh man. I don't know if we got him or not. I don't know.
It sounded good. Like
it made that
reaction,
pop.
I was like, oh, that's dead deer.
Yeah.
And then he stopped and just started walking.
I know. We'll have to watch the footage and check the arrow and see what it looks like and go from there. Alright, so we reviewed the footage. I got down and checked the arrow. We are 100% certain that deer ducked so far that I just barely clipped the top of his back. Absolutely non-lethal hit. The arrow had 0 blood. I mean 0. You couldn't even tell that it had hit a deer. So I'm going to say that I just barely clipped him. If you watch in the video, he ducked really bad. He ducked and wheeled, and my initial impression was that the shot was way too high. But you just never know how far they're going to duck. I had some limbs that I was trying to work around that I had to kind of duck in the saddle to clear them. And I thought I was aiming low enough, but I guess I wasn't. He was at 24 yards, and he just ducked. But that was super cool. Like, we're literally 38 yards from the road. Dylan saw that buck cross the road off one of these ridge points, and he went back in this thick stuff behind us. I grunted 2 or 3 times with my grunt call facing the opposite direction, and it wasn't a minute, and he was standing right there at 24 yards. But big frame deer. He had a lot of points busted up, but I didn't care. I was going to shoot him. Well, I did shoot him, just didn't work out. But that close.